Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. The things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and the medications are hard to pronounce. So please bear with me.
Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
Has anybody had titanium hardware removed or installed, and did it change your seizures? I'm talking about not the surgery impact itself or anesthetic, but maybe the actual metal being your body. What's your thoughts or experiences? Thoughts or experiences with metal in your body?
I've got spinal fusions in my neck and my lumbar spine.
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
I've talked to the doctor about every angle and they blow it off, Annie. Just like you say, they blow it off or it's anxiety.
Yeah, until they find out that you were right, and then they're bowing at your feet.
No, then they're all right. And they're happy that they're so right. I've never gotten credit for a damn thing.
Oh, I've been lucky lately.
Melancholy, watch episode 14 and 15, and Anne goes on about the pink slip.
Yeah, and
like
those pink papers are getting changed next Wednesday. And of course I have the option to change it back, but we'll see. But literally had all of my doctors in my chart at the same time today, because all the stuff that they thought I was nagging them about was to avoid this at 4:00 today, because nobody was listening to me. And I said, I don't need clearance from my primary care provider. We're going to need it from my neurologist, my epileptologist, which is exactly what they needed. So 0 hour, I'm on a conference with 4 other people. And I'm like, okay, just let me say it. All right. And they all started to chuckle. I'm like, go home, have a great weekend. And I told you so. I told you so. We could have done this 2 weeks ago.
At my last surgery, when I got there, I'm like, can I talk to the anesthesiologist? And they're like, well, I'm the nurse. I'm like, no, I need to talk to the anesthesiologist now.
Yeah. And I talked to her today. So I don't have to worry about Wednesday, but she's like, okay, but they will come and talk to me. And I've got all these notes I have to share with my daughter, but I wanted, how they want to have all of these details covered like well before your surgery. And I'm not having brain surgery. This is for my shoulder. But nobody's communicating, and I'm like, I knew I didn't need clearance for anesthesia from my primary care provider.
Right.
And
all you do is wait on them, but they're all in a hurry.
But I needed it from my neurologist, my epileptologist. So, I kind of raised the flag. I think it was Tuesday. And I'm like, I know it's a short work week next week. My surgery's Wednesday. We've got this looming in the mist. So it's like, okay, talk to you, coffee Tuesday morning. So we got it covered. But, now it's like, wow, you were so right. This could get scary. And they recognized, I said, I'm not being selfish about this, just so you know, because I don't want this to be one of your bad memories either. And
yeah,
I
don't want to turn into your nightmare.
Exactly. And I've noticed lately, just showing them that I have compassion and respect for them, it really changes them. It's like, yes, I see you as a human.
I've had a surgeon tell me I never want to see you again.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I had one do that jokingly because he got sick of fixing my knee, but
well, that's what it was. It was after my 3rd surgery. He's like, he's like, bye, I never want to see you again.
He's like, yep, it's like, it's been great. I really care about you, but I never want to see you here again. And I'm like, you mean I need to find another doctor? No, if you hurt yourself, just don't. Just don't, you know? And I'm like, yeah, okay. But
If you
yeah,
need help figuring out how to work things without your right hand, give me a call.
oh, I can't. Don't, please, please. If you have any tips, I've been,
I'm I had 3 surgeries on my right hand and I'm right-handed.
oh, honey, this is, I've had carpal tunnel. I forgot how many times because we went over all that today. And this is my shoulder. And
I heard you
I,
talking about it earlier.
yeah, it's worse than the, you know, it's, I was telling Kate, it's like I cannot make it any worse. The joint is fine. However, it is not completely stable because the muscles outside, also known as the rotator cuff, is no longer connected by the tendons. So I can't make it any worse. And if I do, they'll fix it. But yeah, today was a fun day. It started at 8 o'clock and it ended at 5:45.
Just make it to Wednesday and make sure you do your aftercare. Follow
Oh,
your aftercare to the letter.
no kidding. And I hope I can, you know, and it's like I might need some help at home because my daughter can be gone some days 16 hours. I'm going to need help and we don't have anybody. So we're trying to figure that one out. And it's like, you know, I can't get an agency appointed care aide the day you ask for it. I need you to ask for this a month ago, you know, and so I'm concerned about that. So I don't know how we're gonna figure that one out because mom can't be left alone for a couple of days. And yeah. So that's the last thing I have to worry about. The aftercare, I already asked them how soon I will be able to move my arm. Um, I may be well overweight and in that classification of morbidly obese, but I am leaving that classification intentionally. It just doesn't show as much. But I am one beast. When you if you want to see how strong I am, try to fight me during a complex partial. Just go ahead and try. If I'm combative, I've hurt people and you know, and it's like, okay, so, you know, narrowing down therapy like a pre-habilitation program, I worked on my core and I started putting my arm like inside my shirt or, you know, wearing like a t-shirt over a tank top and just tucking my arm in. And, you know, after a couple of days of that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've eliminated some problems that I could have had. So,
I think I
so
know how they're gonna have you strapped up and you're not gonna be moving much.
no, I'm probably gonna come home in um I almost said girdle, binder sling. I'm expecting it. So, and I'm a big girl, so that's gonna be a fun craft. Um, I won't be able to put that on and take it off either. So that's another reason I'm gonna need help. I think it's gonna be an easy deal. Just a short-term med surge. You know, I'm not too worried, but I'm worried. You know, I cannot be home alone. So I think we're gonna have to rally up the neighbors that we do like and see if we can get just can you come over and check in on me? Make sure I still have weed. Um oh hey, okay.
They can
And,
pack a bowl for you, right?
yeah, I was gonna give you a stoner hack, but not tonight. But yes, I did find an old coffee grinder and I did not I found out like a year ago that you can clean a coffee grinder by grinding white rice in the grinder and then you just clean it out with a dry paper towel and then isopropyl alcohol and you have virtually a brand new coffee grinder. And I learned that because I we thrifted a coffee mill that I can fill with beans, let it run, walk away, fill the carafe. The beans are grinding on their own. I don't have to push the button. Well, I can't grind my weed anymore with my grinder. and I was going to order something on Amazon, but I cleaned the old coffee grinder. So now you know how to clean an old coffee grinder and what I'm using it for. Because my hand, just my arm, putting any pressure on the joint is the problem. I can move it. Don't get me wrong. I mowed the lawn. Kate, I'm fine. I really am fine. But if I were to pull a heavy door or try to push the lawnmower, that would pop my arm right out of the joint. And or I would pass out from the pain.
Yet you
But
continue to push your luck every day.
I will. I'm Irish. It's what we do.
Sounds like my mother-in-law.
Right? It's what we do.
Wow.
She's
I will not know my limit until I meet it.
she's been injured for 3 weeks, but every time I talk to her, what are you doing this morning? You resting? No, I'm up reorganizing my kitchen drawers.
Oh yeah. No, I was oh I was trimming the
Like,
lavender, no big deal. Yeah, no.
I was like, go sit down. You hurt your knee. You can hardly walk.
But you have to keep moving, okay? I'm gonna do the physical therapist lecture.
I
I
am a
live
proof that you do not have to keep moving.
well, the doctor will tell you how long to immobilize, and they will also tell you when to start moving. And you're right, you have to follow that to the T. So, but if you have a chronic injury, you have to find a way to manage it. 90% of the time, it's a muscle imbalance that you can fix yourself. But if she hurt herself, I mean, yeah, you got to rest, but I get it. It's like, no, I can still move. So I can still mow the lawn, right? It isn't a push mower. I'm not hurting my shoulder at all, except when I lower the deck. That was uncomfortable, but I only have to do it a few times.
So you know your body best. And if
Well,
you listen to what your body's telling you when to chill the fuck out, I mean, you got the FECO, you got every kind of THC in the world. Like,
oh, thank you for
there's so
reminding
much
me.
more.
I forgot to log that. I have to, yeah, I can still taste it in my mouth. Thank you for reminding me. But yes, and it's like I got a lecture from a friend today, and it's like, you're still not taking enough. And I'm like, I don't want to be stoned. It's like you will be beyond stoned. Just keep taking more if you're still in pain. And I'm like, I finally figured out what beyond stoned means. Okay. I literally am not stoned, but I don't have that pain. And I took a lot of FECO today.
So what's that
So,
do for your epilepsy?
oh, it calmed me right down. And I didn't notice. I mean, there's muscles I've been working on, and I was kind of ignoring, well, and whining about the spasms because they're very painful. And with my shoulder, it's like, yeah. And I'm like, when? Like, wait a minute, I can figure this out. It was that extra magic microdose. And yeah, that was another thing I had to explain today. Oh, they didn't know what psilocybin was. I love it. Can, and I'm like, okay. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Look at my birth date. I'm gonna make you smile. It's shrooms. Just
Tell
plain
me this
old.
was the anesthesiologist.
And the nurse and the surgical attendant. And they're like,
Wow.
oh, what? I'm like,
You hosted a training session.
I did. I said, you know what, you guys, you cannot match it. There is no pharmaceuticals. I've tried them all. I told them my story in 90 seconds. And they're like, there was silence. And I'm like, did I lose you guys? And the anesthesiologist PA was like, no, you didn't. I'm looking at
She's
your
probably
record.
tripping about getting a contact high or something.
She was so fascinated because she was looking at the notes I have in the master system from Johns Hopkins. And I'm still to this day part of that study from Unlimited Sciences in the use of cannabis and psilocybin together and what they do when I take them, how long it takes for it to work. Did it do what I anticipated, what I took it for? things like that. And I've been part of that open study for over a decade. But when I was there,
The
yeah,
the psilocybin with was it Rick Strassman at the New Mexico?
yeah. Um, there's Paul Stamets, Stamets. I think you're
That's the
right.
name. That might
I
be the
think,
name that I might be getting the names mixed up. He wrote a book about a
Wait,
lot of
what
his
was the name
stuff,
again?
right? Didn't he? Or was that
yeah,
am I think
Paul Stamets is a master mycologist, and I think a lot of people refer to him. And I think what's throwing me off is there is somebody in Mexico that clinically studies peyote and the use of peyote. So putting all of that together in the study of psychedelics. So yeah, but yeah, I know Paul Stamets, Stamets. We just call him the mushroom god because yeah, um, some of us never would have known about microdosing without him. And that isn't the only mushroom that he studies. He also found, I'm not sure if it's a mushroom or actually a mold, which is different, that can digest plastics in the ocean. So that's the kind of mycologist that Paul Stamets is, and then there's Sunil Agarwal, and he is a medical doctor, psychiatrist, PhD, and he is our number one representative for the use of psilocybin as during hospice. And he we used that avenue to open up the public's awareness of the use of psilocybin. And some states actually legalized it. No, I don't think New York legalized. It's ketamine. I was just offered psychedelic therapy, um, and I think it's ketamine. So, but yeah,
psychedelic therapy even with the ketamine, even with the epilepsy history was offered?
yeah. Well, you know how they induce a medically induced coma when you're in status. It,
Yeah,
it's with
yeah.
usually with ketamine.
Because I've asked about ketamine for uh, depression treatment with the epilepsy, and my epileptologist has not had any answers for me in that avenue. Um, so it sounds like you might know some more people.
I would,
She said, I mean,
Well,
it would
I
have
would,
to go through a
well, like I know
psychiatrist,
that because
right?
like I know it because like like I never was seeing my neurologist at the time, and like like I think it was in the middle of the 3 appointments I had with him. I mean, like he told me that like there was nothing wrong with my brain, and I was like, okay, but like I felt that like there was something, like I mean I felt there was something at the time, because like I remember when I was at Florida, when I was in my college years, I was taking cocaine and psychedelics and well, cocaine, acid, and ketamine as well.
dude.
So
Wow. Yeah.
Boy,
But
fun.
no, I just want to throw this out for Mark. It might be a good idea if you want ketamine therapy for associated depression. See if you can find a neuropsychiatrist because that's who did it to me. And I only needed to do, I think I had 3 treatments where he had me come into the office and 3 months where I took a low dose every day. And then we titrated the dose down to dust um, to get me off of it. And it really did help, and I, I have a lot to say for neuropsychiatry because they look at the whole picture, you know?
Yeah, because I was just I was just stepped back up on my Vimpat dosage, and um, when I had been on 200 milligrams twice a day before, but that had me in a really um, like low depressed state place. So I was stepped down to 150 in the morning, but that hasn't been controlling my seizures, so they've gone back up to 200. Um, so I was wondering before if that might be something feasible to try ketamine treatment for depression with even with the I mean, I guess it would also depend on the specific medications that I'm on, if whether or not they would interact too. But
Yeah.
Well, did you mention something during the sleep study about a cardiac thing? Did you have like a heart rate spike or something that you mentioned?
no, that was before I went in. I think I had a seizure yesterday, right before um I went in. I was working on my plants and everything, getting ready for um, the the study, and got finished up and showered and was just basically done for the day, waiting, and my resting heart rate was like 66 to 70-ish or so, and like in 1 minute it spiked up to like 187, um, and then went right back down. And uh, for the rest of the day, I felt like I felt like my brain was run over by a pickup truck or something. I could not, I wanted to sleep, but my family wouldn't let me sleep because I had the sleep study coming up, and
Oh my God.
I couldn't answer all of the pre
Like
sleep
entrance
study
questions or
questions.
whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like rating stuff on a scale of 1 to 5 was too much for me to handle. Um, so that feels like post-ictal. That's not just normal worn
Feeling.
out after
Yeah.
some intense gardening, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm surprised how long the exclusion list is here for the study of psilocybin. They have one going on for major depressive disorder, but that's on the list. I mean, there's a pretty extensive explanation for a lot of these conditions, but then there's just have epilepsy. That's the only one that's that's just another bullet point on there. If you have epilepsy, doesn't say why or what type or how frequent or how severe or like any information of on the spectrum. Just that's one of the exclusion criteria. It's just like if you have insulin dependent diabetes or any kind of positive drug test. But yeah, there's a pretty lengthy list of conditions that they don't want in these studies. And a lot of cardiac conditions are in there too.
Oh, for the ketamine?
This one's psilocybin. Oh wait, so is that ketamine? That's
No.
No,
different, right?
that's true.
Cybin is the
Yeah,
magic
that's definitely different.
mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm looking at one of psilocybin for major depressive disorder. Were you guys talking about ketamine for that?
The ketamine we used basically for a depression reset because I had
Okay.
I I was kind of stuck in a state of shock after so many catastrophic seizures, and I was just living alone. Well, I had a kid at home still, single mom, and it was very jarring to me mentally, and trying to recover physically was one thing. But when my doctor decided, he said, let's give this a try. If you're not afraid to try it, we can set this up. And we set up for me to have that ketamine therapy. And it wasn't too long after I started an impact. So he wasn't worried about it. And I would trust him to this day. But Mark, I just had the same thing happen with what would be defined as tachycardia when we dropped my Vimpat dose. But we went from 400 a day to 300 a day, and that was too harsh. But I've talked to other people, and apparently it's one of the toughest drugs to get off of because of this. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I wasn't told this could affect my heart.
Nobody ever mentioned any cardiac impact.
So now that I'm trying to get off of it, it's telling me that my brain will not properly operate my heart without Vimpat. And I'm like, wait, is there a study for this yet? So that's something I want to start throwing out there. It's like, how many people have had a tachycardia event, or a similar outlier in their cardiac activity with no explanation. And Mark, you were lucky that, nothing happened. I'm so grateful, but darn it, you just missed it. That sucked. If you could have got that on the sleep study, that would have
Yeah,
that would have been clutch. But yeah,
yeah, all the EEG and
oh yeah,
everything, it would have been perfect. Um,
damn. But yeah, I think it's the Vimpat. And that's one of the conversations that came up today. I'm like, it might not be the ex-copri, but that stuff made me sick. Okay,
But don't you guys get terrified of the new medications for that reason? Just like how much don't they know?
yeah. And now that I had that happen, and you saying that, Mark, when you just had an alteration in your dose, I have
For one
goosebumps. Right?
day.
Yep,
yeah,
that's
it's
all.
like 50 milligram adjustment in one of two separate doses. It's like a very small adjustment that they made too. So
Damn, I wonder if it's related. Just saying.
So now we know that some of these medications not only cause dependence, but more so on certain systems other than others. So it's not always just our brains, just our neurological system that's dependent on these medications.
Right, but they're all denying that it had anything to do with anything. And that after all of this surgery, I have to go see a cardiologist. I'm like, well, if it doesn't have anything to do with anything, why do you want me to see a cardiologist when I can almost guarantee that was a focal seizure going complex? Okay, because I have the same, so yeah, this is where my neurologist is like, oh, damn. So he looked at my EEGs because we got to know what to do during this anesthesia. And it's like, oh, okay, we're all on the same page, reading the
I'm
same book.
so happy. It sounds like your team is listening to you.
Oh, I had to because I was like, I'll cancel this surgery. You can't. I will. I will not put anybody in myself or anybody else at risk. If this was something that we could have corrected by a simple conversation. And now let's think about the risk. You have to hear me today, or I am canceling this surgery. Oh, okay. Yeah. But really, why is it that we tell it's like, oh, well, no, I don't think that was related. It could have been this, it could have been that. And I'm like, no, it could have been the Vimpat, just the Vimpat, even if I wasn't taking the Xcopri. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was already thinking that, dude. Okay, twin.
So back to seizures. Seizures while alone. Don't most people end up okay after having a seizure by themselves if they lie down and put cushions on the floor where they might fall? I can't be with my wife 24/7, but right now I only leave the house to take my daughter to school. I installed the camera as well so I can see the inside of my house while I'm away, but none of this seems like it would be enough. Has anyone had a seizure while alone, and how did everything turn out? So this is cute. A concerned husband thinking he can do anything. What do you
Yes.
guys think?
I mean, it could happen, honestly, because, like, basically, like, when you lay down, I mean, and do nothing, I mean, like, of course you're gonna have a seizure. I mean, like, if you're not doing anything, like, active in your life, like,
But even laying
if,
down on the bed during a tonic-clonic, you stay on the bed?
no,
Yeah, that's never
no,
happened.
like, no, like, what I'm trying to say, like, if you, like, get out of the bed and then have a tonic-clonic seizure.
Oh, okay. So you're not thinking there is any advice really for him on what can I do to help her? Especially if she doesn't have an aura. I was just thinking if you don't know when it's gonna happen, then there's no time to get to that safe place.
Well, I mean, like my advice, I would say, like, like, I would say, like, be with her like 24/7 and make sure that, like, see, and make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, so the one of the comments here is just saying that since my seizures have always been in bed while asleep, they were always in or they were always with my husband except for one time when he was traveling and he would be saying something like it happened again the time he was traveling. I woke up, in other words, came to after the seizure and didn't know I had one, wandered around, went back to bed, had another one. So it was a cluster on this one and got up and repeated it until morning. At some time it said they went to bed and put a towel down. The clues were the typical raging headache, body aches, and may have hit my head on the nightstand. I was fine. I did the typical aftercare, got a seizure watch after that, but it was not helpful. Many false positives that, like, how those watches do. And even though my seizures have been controlled for years, I still wear a medical alert bracelet. So yeah, as far as the whole like alone 24/7 thing goes, I don't think there's any help
The
for that.
the getting up, walking around between those two seizures might have been part of the seizure. It might not have been a cluster of two separate. She may have had the seizure in bed, got up, walked around, um, and then,
Do you guys
you
feel like the
know,
tonic-clonics kind of digress into focals in between?
oh, was she having tonic-clonics in bed? And then,
Yeah, that's what she was
is the
saying,
way
that
she
her
said it, like,
tonic-clonics are nocturnal.
so she got up and wandered around after,
The
well, I
first
guess,
one.
yeah, she didn't know.
But then she's saying and
But then,
repeated this until morning. So she doesn't necessarily specify that it was only two. It might have been more than that, but at this point, she can't tell because all she has, it sounds like, is the evidence from
getting
the
up,
next morning.
so is she consciously, intentionally getting up and wandering around after not knowing that she had had a seizure, just waking up and thinking that she was just normally awakened, and then,
Well, you know how we
I don't
discussed
know,
earlier
that just,
tonight about how some people have those kind of automatic reactions where you come to out of a seizure, you're still in that postictal fog, so you're definitely not there, probably not going to remember this in a couple hours, but you are functioning enough to start cleaning or start, moving things around. Like I was not folding the laundry the right way, but that stack of laundry was not in the laundry basket anymore. And
I
it
tried
sounds
to
like maybe that's
crash
what she
through.
was doing.
That's when I tried to crash through the shower doors because I got up and they thought I was fine, but it was the first seizure I'd ever had. Didn't know, and I was like, got up to go to the bathroom, and next thing he knew, I was falling into the shower doors.
Was that like an intentional action?
I have no idea. I don't remember any of it.
Oh, right.
It was in the middle of the night.
Oh, thank God you didn't get hurt from that. Okay, yeah, so seizures while alone, that's a tough one. Good start on getting the cameras.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing that'll be 100%, and for a spouse, just that's something that I can't imagine that. Um, I mean, I can accept my own condition and situation, but um, to have to accept, deal with leaving, that's, yeah, that's a tough one. Um, but there's like 100% detection of these seizures, there's still, excuse me, there's still no 100% response. And um, yeah,
Solutions. Yeah.
that's a tough one. We're getting closer with these watches and cameras, but um, no 100%.
And so niacinamide and kidney stones. I started getting yearly kidney stones about 5 years ago. I do not wish this on anyone ever. My neuros all think the big Z could be the cause since I have been on it for over 15 years. My urologist is like, yeah, no, it's a 0.01% chance. Anyone else in this boat with half a paddle? So zonisamide. They told me to drink loads of water on zonisamide due to kidney stones being a common side effect. So it doesn't sound unlikely.
You said
Anybody else been on
zonisamide?
zonisamide? Yeah, you've
I've
been on
never
that?
taken it, but I heard a lot about it. What was that question, Sam? I'm sorry.
Kidney stones. So the niacinamide and kidney stones. Their urologist is saying it's unlikely, but the neurologist is blaming it on the epilepsy meds.
I've heard people say stuff about kidney stones. I think Reese said something about that. And yeah, I'm not sure if she was taking zonisamide, but yeah, she said
Yeah,
something that
that's when you want the neurologist to talk to the urologist. And I would go with the prescribing doctor's opinion on most things anyway, you know.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well documented that kidney stones on zonisamide are definitely a thing, and they know exactly how it happens. Risk factors are younger patients, how long they've been on it. The longer, the more likely. And if there's a family history of kidney stones or any metabolic or urological disease. So yeah, it's pretty well documented. Don't listen to the urologist on this one.
So you have one that says, has your epilepsy tolerance to alcohol or THC changed over the years? Preface, I was diagnosed at 14, now in my 40s. I have nocturnal focal aware. I used to be able to party in high school and college, and now 2 glasses of wine, 2 puffs, and I'm having a seizure or seizure of some sort. Granted, age and hormones change, but it's very different. Has your threshold to either alcohol or THC changed as you have? I am in the healthcare field, so I attribute to the body changing. I attribute my body changing, but asking my neuro specialists, and they are like, I don't know. We can try XYZ because for research. I stopped drinking. Alcohol hasn't bothered me coming up to now. Alcohol, never had a problem with it. I don't drink now. THC, I wouldn't know because I haven't stopped in a while. Tolerance to THC isn't going down. The threshold is at a standstill, I believe. Yeah, and you guys' tolerance changed over the years? I think my tolerance got better after a while. I used to think I was high when I was smoking as a teen. And then when I got older, I was like, this is high.
My tolerance changed in 2 days. Okay. I have consumed so much Fecco in the last 2 days. Like I said, now I know what they mean about the term beyond high. You're not high anymore. This is
Right.
the medicinal level that I should have been at, that I think I can keep myself at for a few more days, but I had to stop taking my multivitamin, but I can still use my cannabis until midnight before. What?
I was like, you got a sweet deal.
Right? I'm like, wait, let me make sure I got that right. She's like, if you're gonna smoke, just don't do it after midnight Tuesday. I'm like, okay, and how about FECO? I mean, RSO, and as soon as you say RSO, people usually know. And I'm like, she's like, well, yeah, nothing after midnight. Okay. So I can take a dose of FECO at midnight if I want to. Yes. But I can't take my multivitamins. It really is. It has something to do with the anesthesia and something, and this is true for everyone. And not just the clotting factor in your blood, but just like a viscosity that can be altered. It just alters anesthesia and blood bleeding. So I didn't know that. Like, that's okay. What else do I got to stop taking? But yeah, I can have my weed until midnight.
So I haven't smoked since Easter, and alcohol's never been a problem for me. I never really like been drunk and had a seizure or been drunk anyway. Yeah. But there's some comments here. Mark, has THC ever changed you after the years? Your tolerance change?
Oh, tolerance change? Hell yeah. I mean, um, yeah. I used to, I mean, my my college roommates and I would pass a single bowl around and pack it, and each of us take a little puff of it, and like, oh man, so stoned right now. Um, I mean, now that same bowl, like three of them would get me around where I would usually spend my time. You know, and RSO, but I mean a bit in a spoonful of peanut butter in the morning and some in the evening, and it's just it's great. It's oh yeah, an eighth uh eighth used to last a lot longer. It's um yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think that um I don't think it's possible to avoid that changing me as a person over time, though. I mean, that um, cannabis, whether medicinal or recreational, comes in like steeped in such a culture now that having grown up in a evangelical Christian sort of family environment, um, it would be impossible to start using medical marijuana without significant changes to a lot of aspects of me and my personality. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting, but whether or not those aspects are something that had always been there and is just, you know, opened up with cannabis use, or whether it's kind of um, introduced by the I don't know. It's an interesting question. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. I'm going to be thinking for a while.
So the main question after that is, has it really changed aspects of you or just their impression of you? So we'll leave that as food for thought. Hey, Toaster.
Yeah.
How's it going, Toaster?
Going all right. I am testing the headset now with my phone since it doesn't seem to want to connect to my computer. So
It's working
hopefully
pretty good.
this wasn't all for waste.
Yeah.
Working good.
Yeah, my schnauzer ate my earbuds.
Yeah, that was a vet
wow.
bill and a new headset.
Yep. She also ate my noisemaker that you got me, Kate. So
Oh.
yeah, no more mini pom pom.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
I guess you
I
can
still got
sacrifice
one.
that.
The fidget spinner is still
So
okay
that's
though.
this. Toaster. Has your epilepsy tolerance to alcohol or THC changed over the years?
You know, that's a very good question. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it's more of when you get in. I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, probably, maybe. I mean, I think I have just as many seizures on cannabis as I do off of it. So, but it's also, it helps with the effects of the seizures, if that makes any sense. So there's also
How?
that. How? Oh, it
Yeah,
helps with
like
the
does it make
pain.
them shorter or something?
Oh
Oh,
no,
okay.
pain, the headache afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jocelyn, did you catch that question?
No, I didn't.
Question is, oh, I'm sorry, I went off that screen. Has your epilepsy tolerance to alcohol or THC changed over the years?
I'm sorry, what has the epilepsy what?
Tolerance to alcohol or THC changed over the years?
Well, I've only been having seizures for less than a year, and I only started drinking again recently. I also stopped smoking dry herb vaping weed. I I don't think so. I mean, I'm vaping weed at night, you know. I don't think so. You know, my seizures seem to be under control with my topiramate. You know, I think I'm really fortunate, you guys. I definitely don't have, I do not have epilepsy as bad as all of you. And I was just telling everyone earlier today that my neurologist is now saying that he wonders if my seizures were caused by the CSF leak and that I don't have epilepsy. So
Nice.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. we're going to take me off of topiramate in April, and we'll do a 24-hour EEG to see if anything shows up off of topiramate. So we're going to do the whole
Alright.
thing.
Awesome. But don't leave us. You know, you don't have to leave us, even if your diagnosis, because you did experience epilepsy.
No,
So,
I don't want to leave you guys. I love you guys. You guys
yeah,
are awesome.
yeah, there won't be a reason for you to have to leave ever
Okay,
because you experienced it
I did.
and you are a story that we don't get to hear a lot. And I'm so grateful that this was a temporary thing for you.
Well, I mean, I would love it if it were temporary. There's that other person, the guy who had the CSF leak. I don't remember his name. And
Rick.
Rick,
Oh, our
I'd like to
DJ.
talk.
Y-
He had an encephalocele coming out of his ear. That's where the brain pokes out.
Yeah.
It's brain hemorrhage. I'd love to hear his story about his epilepsy. Um,
Go look at it on my YouTube channel.
okay, thank you. Thank you. I will.
Yep, the
Whole story.
1v1 with Rick, the whole story.
Because I'd love to hear someone's story about having epilepsy and a CSF leak, because apparently it's very unusual. It's definitely very unusual to have seizures with a CSF leak. It's very, very rare to have seizures with a CSF leak. So that's why I'm questioning my neurologist. But he's an expert, so we'll see what happens, you guys.
Yeah, go watch some previous posts of mine, and you'll see all kinds of stuff.
So there are a lot of posts. Do you have any idea where I could narrow it down to when he told his story?
There's this part. I mean, there's this. You're gonna press playlist, and then the playlist is gonna say 1v1, and then click on that playlist, and it'll should have Rick in there and
Okay.
everybody else.
Rick, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give that a shot. I appreciate this. Thanks.
But you know how to find my channel, right? No.
No, but I'm assuming I can find it if I go look on Reddit.
I got it. Just check your DM.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button and smash that like button. It really helps the channel.
I'm gonna do that right now because I see
Press the
someone
little
post.
bell so it'll remind you every time a video comes out.
Okay, someone just put it in the chat. I'm gonna do that right now.
I lost count how many people, it's like, yeah, I was giving up. I was like, forget it. I can't fight anymore. But I didn't realize that I was just in boot camp.
Well, mine is quite literal. If I was still out on the coast, I'd probably not be alive.
Right. And I would have made that choice for myself as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I want to live.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you guys are here living.
I am so grateful
Glad we
to
asked
you,
that question
Pookie.
today.
Yeah.
That was a and he came up with that question too.
And then I forgot when I asked what's the icebreaker today. Like, oh yeah, I made that up. Anyhow,
So there you go, bro. In your face. We'd be dead without you.
Where would you be?
what would I be?
Mm-hmm. Because you have gotten me through some tough times.
Right now, where would I be? I would not know. I was doing so much. I think I would have been a DJ. I would have kept following that one. Yeah. I think it was this or DJing. One of them had to fall through. And now the turntable is under the table next to me. So you see what direction I went.
We gotta get you and Rick together. Because that would be an
No, you
awesome
see that
show.
setup? That setup on the desk is perfect. There's two records right there. That's good. Makes me want to listen to music. Oh, we
Yeah.
got another post here. Says death. Is anyone else not afraid of dying? Like you're not suicidal, however, somehow don't care. I left everything ready, got a cemetery plot, life insurance ready to be cashed out, everything is set. I love my life, however, somehow I don't care. It's weird, I don't wish for it, however, everything is ready. Is everybody else or anybody else kind of on that same page?
Yeah. I'm like, it's coming, it's bound to happen, it's the inevitable. Don't worry yourself about it, just live. Anything is possible, especially death, in different circumstances as ours. So yeah, I don't stress myself about it, but it's coming. One day it is coming. It's somewhere around the corner, then I don't know which corner. Might be sooner, might be later, but you can't bother yourself with the possibility of dying. It's just the inevitable.
Can't lock yourself in the fear of I'm going to die. I mean, it's always a possibility. I know that I have life insurance policies. Um, it's that's there to take care of my boy. Um, I also know exactly. I have everything set up. I have a no risk, no risk. I have a living will.
Resuscitation.
Yeah, and a living will. I have I have my body all ready to. It's already signed over to Duke, and basically any organs that can't be used, well, they'll go to Duke too.
There you go.
Everything is planned out, but and it's not, and I'm not going to take like unnecessary risks like going out and driving. But I'm not going to be afraid of going on the roller coaster or skydiving or maybe one day learning how to surf. Because we have friends who've done like the speedboats. We have friends who have done so much, and it makes hearing about it makes you excited about what you can do. And I
Yeah, I
forgot
got a
where I was
friend
going with
who
that.
I got a friend who she swims laps in pools. And she was on a jet ski. Oh, you believe you were here? It's Lufa. Yeah. Um, she goes swimming all the time. She says to relieve stress. And Wednesday she said she was Olympic swimmer. I think she said she was some type of competitive swimmer or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Junior Olympics. She said AAU or something. It's
Yeah.
just the Olympics for like younger people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, tangent. My sibling was in the Junior Olympics
What
for
sport?
What's your
Taekwondo.
Olympics? Did you say
Yeah,
AAU
gender?
Junior Olympics. It's a big
Junior
deal.
Olympics. Yeah, Junior Olympics. I was hosted in Charlotte one year when we were younger, and he was selected for because well, he was selected. He got his ass kicked. I mean, they got their ass kicked in the first round, but it was, but the fact that they got there is yes, exactly. If you notice, it was them, not me. Because
They make such a big deal out of the medals too. The medals are like huge and heavy and
I know you should.
yeah.
They still do that for any type of tournament. You should see my Dragon Boys medal that he got from in the last tournament. It is like huge. It's like, and it has a dragon.
Yeah, competitive sports are fun. I'm glad we're not excluded from those.
They have the what's it called? What's it called? The Olympics for people with disabilities. Do we even qualify for that?
Special?
Para
Olympics.
Oh, there you go.
Olympics.
And no, I don't think so.
No. I can do the 100-yard dash. Could be in the Special Olympics.
Epilepsy is an eligible condition for the Paralympics.
It is. Oh,
I need to start training. I couldn't imagine someone having a seizure while running a 100-yard dash.
Ouch.
What's the possibilities of that happening?
Oh, you know, that's individual.
It's individual. Yeah, it depends on their epilepsy. I mean,
You better make sure you drank enough. If you're inside or outside, it would make a difference.
what type of
Whatever your
seizures you
triggers
have,
are.
how
Shit,
frequent
probably
your
right down to what
seizures-
you're wearing.
Right.
That can be a trigger for some people.
The stress of actually just being in that competition. But also,
If it's your first time, maybe if it's the first time, or if you're on a team that's hyped about it.
but also, shoot, is the law? If something bad will go can go happen, it will go happen. It just seems like that would be the
Murphy's
perfect
Law.
time.
Yeah,
That one.
it's like dumb stuff goes through my mind, like stuff that could happen. And I was like, what if we all have epilepsy, like me and everybody else that's running, and we all just drop at the same time? But that's a dumb thing to think. I was just imagining it like we're all doing the 100-yard dash and everyone stops it as a
Mosh
focal.
pit.
At the
looking
same
around.
time, seems
Did everybody
a
just picture
little
that?
It would be a
unrealistic,
mosh
but
pit track meet.
Can you imagine everybody gets to the finish line and stop and at the line start looking around? We're like, everybody's
Hit you with a
quiet.
focal. You're all like post-ictal on the podium.
The first one to come out of the focal wins.
I was picturing the one who made it the furthest before their seizure started.
Or I
But-
would win because I was
it
wandering
seemed-
to the finish line.
They
It
measure
seemed
that
a
shit like a
little
crime scene.
unreasonable for all of
They
them
put a
to
spray in
start
wherever you
seizing
drop.
right there.
I'd wander, so I'd win. Keep going. Just keep swimming.
Well, only as long as you wandered to the finish line.
Yeah, wander
What
back
if-
to the starting line would be crazy.
You'd have somebody like the team coach or somebody at the finish line, like
Oh.
trying to lure you to the finish line with something you want. Somebody would be over there with your DJ table or something to get your
I can
attention.
imagine myself.
I mean, you'll
I can
get
imagine
further
to the
than the
finish line,
people who
touch
have
the thing and
absence.
just hear somebody and turn around and walk the other way.
They'd have a
This
bunch of
is
marijuana at
hilarious,
the
and
end.
it's going to happen.
They have a bunch of joints at the end.
Right? You
Paramedics.
see your coach lighting a joint, you wander that way.
Coach Delta at
Paramedics
the
on
end.
site.
Got it.
Says, are you criminally liable if you have a seizure behind the wheel? I live in Washington State, and the requirement to drive is 6+ months seizure free. If I'm seizure free for multiple years and then have a random breakthrough seizure while driving, would I be held criminally liable for any damages? I'm worried about driving even after my seizures are controlled, because what if I severely injure someone? Could I be arrested for manslaughter? And God forbid somebody gets killed, or child endangerment if there is a child in the car? I know there's these really dark questions, but unfortunately they need to be asked. Is it safer to just never drive again? The thought of being arrested for something you're unable to control is horrifying. Yes, you can be arrested. I'm not sure about the license thing, because they're giving people back their license, which is letting them know they can still drive. I don't suggest it. I couldn't live with myself if I was to hurt someone or someone's child. And that's my opinion after growing up, because I drove and didn't care about me or anyone else's child. But I'm past that. Care about my health now. I'm dying. So yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't know how I would deal with that mentally. Yeah, just never drive again.
And the legal standpoint is saying if you had a known seizure disorder, drove against medical advice, or failed to ever report the condition, that's what deems negligence and could easily be an at-fault case. But there's something
When
called sudden medical emergency
failed
doctrine
to
where it was if it
report
was your first one and didn't know, then you might get off.
if they said failed to report it, how would they know if you failed to report it if you didn't report that you
If you
is
had
there
been
a
receiving treatment
duty,
for it
is there a duty to report
to the
on the
DMV.
part of the patient to give that information to the state?
Yes.
Hmm.
So that's what deemed or determines failure to disclose.
Okay. I thought it was that the doctor would like, or that it would
There's probably too many of those gray areas where somebody has like a one-time seizure, they get prescribed, but not diagnosed with epilepsy. That's not coded as epilepsy yet to the insurance company. So maybe the doctor doesn't have to report it on those cases until technically they've had their second seizure. So
My
there's probably a
neurologist
lot of gray
reported,
area, and that's why they told the patient to do it.
yeah, my neurologist, he called and did all the stuff for me, so I didn't have to go tell them or report to them. They already knew I had seizures. I've never been to the DMV and even thought about getting a license. As soon as they go, what are you here for? An ID. That's never
Do
been
you
the
not have
thought
a
in my
state
mind.
ID or like equivalent?
The state ID.
Is
Yeah, I
that
got the state
not
ID and
issued?
that.
Because here in the state of Florida, that's issued by the DMV. It's basically the same process. You just
Yeah.
like
When I go in the DMV, I go get my ID. Nothing else.
I was basically just told, hey, don't ever drive again. It wasn't a physical taking of the license. It was just
yeah,
a don't ever drive again. And then when I moved back to North Carolina and had to, well, get a new license or ID, it was, okay, are you coming in for a driver's license or an ID? And at that point, it was like, ID, because I thought that I couldn't get a license. Looking back
yeah.
on it, I'm thinking maybe if I just said license, they would have just given me a license because I had the real ID at that point. I'm glad I didn't. I just
I'm
don't drive again. I wouldn't drive again.
I was never actually like I never had my
Hi, Angel.
I never
Hello,
had my
everyone.
license taken away. I'm in Washington State. I never had my license taken away. I was just told by the doctors you're not allowed to drive for 6 months after you've had a tonic clonic. So I've not been driving. But I never had anyone actually from the DMV put anything in my record. I've just not been driving until it's been 6 months.
Angel, the icebreaker today is where would you be if you were not here? But being that it is Friday, I already know you'd be there with your child. Um, but if you weren't with your child, where would you be if you weren't here?
Oh, I was like, where would I be if I was not here? I guess in heaven. I don't know.
Quite a few people said that in heaven.
I guess because it's like if I wasn't here meant I wasn't born. I don't know.
No, if you weren't here, like today with us.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, today's Friday, so definitely with my child. But Other than that, probably with my friends.
So we're not friends, is what you're saying? I'm just kidding.
We're brothers. We
I'm
family.
just kidding. Um, yeah, what was the question that we're on? It's the criminally liable of driving. So the first comment here says, I'm a lawyer, not your lawyer. This is not legal advice, but if you're worried about these things happening, don't drive. Whether or not you get charged with a crime will actually be determined by a prosecutor in said district. Where anything like this to happen, then it will be the judge and or jury to decide if you will be convicted, aka held criminally liable. There are a lot of moving parts, but if you think any of these scenarios could happen to you, I just wouldn't drive. And I get it because I don't drive. Another comment says if you legally have a driver's license, you haven't lied about not having seizures for those 6 months and are doing everything required by your doctor to do everything you can to be seizure free, I guess probably not accountable. My doctor said 2 years. It says 6 months. I've never driven, 48 years old, never get behind the wheel to put other people's lives at risk. Only if you willingly knew you were going to have one, like stopping taking your meds or whatever. But I'm not a judge nor a lawyer. It's just like someone having a heart attack or a stroke behind the wheel. Look up the results on those in your area. I think you'll find what you're looking for. I don't suggest driving, period. Just not drive. It's an easy way to not hurt people.
I agree.
Do you think that there will be a cure for epilepsy? Cure is in quote. Whether in our lifetime or not, do you think there will ever be a cure to solve seizures? Medicines help with epilepsy, but people don't expect it to go away. There's definitely a fun hypothetical question or discussion because from what I've seen, people take all medications differently because everyone's brain is different. And in TV shows and novels, in quote, cures have zero side effects. I hope there will one day be a cure for every illness and disorder. It will be wonderful if everyone were able bodies. Do you ever think there will be a cure? I don't think so because not all of them are like mine. And mine wouldn't necessarily be a cure because I had brain damage, so brain trauma. So there's no really cure for that unless they like go take out that piece of the brain, I guess. But I think they told me that wasn't possible. That doesn't work with this anyway. It's just soft brain tissue that's gonna stay soft. And yeah, if you're wondering what it is, it's called encephalomalacia. I'm not sure how to spell it, but it sounds fun. Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. I was initially gonna say no, but I mean, when you consider how far technology is coming recently with things like the Neuralink implants, what they're able to do now with those patients, um, entirely paralyzed and now able to interact with the computer, playing chess for the first time ever. That kind of that kind of achievement when you would have asked somebody 30 years ago, do you think in your lifetime we'll ever see somebody with brain implants able to uh, interact with a computer that is connected to another computer on the opposite side of the world, through these satellites that are connected with, I mean, that's the realm of science fiction. Um, so I don't know if you think about what the realm of science fiction, current science fiction looks like. Not that I'm suggesting that that's any sort of reasonable metric or standard to use for comparison, but the you know uh, RNS and DBS um, technologies, what they're able to do in reaction to what they currently detect, what if they're able to pick up on these uh, signals much, much earlier, and, much, much earlier being in, the electrical signals sort of sense. Um, I don't know if that would necessarily be considered a cure, but I think that treatments might evolve to the point where it is no longer as debilitating of an issue or as debilitating of a condition. And, perhaps that uh, uh, implants and that sort of treatment may uh, become routine. Um, or a relatively routine, outpatient procedure, this tiny little thing, just, boop, right up there. Um, I don't know. It's a very interesting uh, idea to think about what might actually be there and available. Um, but whether that's something that could be considered a cure is a whole nother issue, given how wide and diverse epilepsy is. So this could be a much longer monologue, but maybe somebody else would like to talk.
I love it. So I was just thinking what came to mind was that obviously we can have hope that advancements will continue and treatments will be, like you said, down to outpatient, more effective, more reliable, and more applicable. But maybe not to that level within our lifetime. Not to be a downer, but that's just what came to mind when I heard the question.
There's actually
What do you guys
something here that says that not in the foreseeable future. Epilepsy is caused by many things, so it's required more than one solution. Beyond that, the cause of epilepsy begins in the brain, which we know very, very little about. I'll quote as best as I can my neurosurgeon. We know more about theoretical physics and deep space than we know about the human brain. Along with all that, there needs to be a lot of money invested into neurological research with a specific focus on epilepsy in order to find a solution. As of now, there's not enough of pressing reason to make that investment. I honestly believe we'll land on Mars before we cure epilepsy, unless a billionaire starts having seizures and selfishly invests into solving his or her own problems. Sounds fun. And Mark, what were you saying earlier? You said you were changing your answer.
Yeah, initially I would have given an answer basically similar to that one that you just read, but I started to get a little bit more optimistic after I started to consider um, broadening the definition of cure. Um, if we move it from, you know, nobody ever having epilepsy of any sort to um, seizures, epilepsy managed to the point where it's not an issue to, impact people's lives, where, things like implants can be a routine outpatient procedure. The the
All right.
answer, I think, can change.
I like that you're a little more optimistic about it now and changed your answer. Because a year ago, you were very much against this. Your
Oh,
answer a year
really?
ago says,
Yeah.
no, I do not. Not a cure. End quote.
Yep.
Epilepsy is not a single monolithic diagnosis. It is an umbrella term for a person who's highly prone to seizures. Those seizures can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. They can be caused by injury, tumors, or a whole array of neurological differences, and they can start anywhere in the brain. As long as there are brains, there will be that malfunction. For instance, seize from the time to time, which means some brains will be more prone to seizing than other brains, and they will be called epileptic. Hopefully, though, there will be a much better diagnostic tools and treatments in the very near future. And somebody said, excellent answer. So you got that, and you got 24 likes on it from a year ago. So
Nice.
there's
Yeah.
that. But I should tell all
There's
them.
still that little tinge of optimism at the end, that's growing now though. But I also know more about seizures than I did then. So there's some tweaks I would have to make before posting that if I were to,
So you think that was
copy
closer to a
paste
new
it over to
diagnosis
epilepsy.
downer kind of mood?
Do what?
You think that was just closer to your like newly diagnosed downer kind of vibe?
Um, yeah, kinda. Um, I mean, I don't think that Neuralink patients had started playing chess with each other then at that point. So that was a pretty exciting thing. But
There you go.
um, I don't know.
Hey, you learn more every
I
day, and that's led to positive results on that question. So that's cool.
I have never had a circle of friends as large as I do right now. And that is undeniably a factor in a, a increase in my optimism.
I should tell these people in your comment, he's changed his mind. There's 24 likes. They don't know you changed your mind yet.
No, he didn't. He's doing what he said at the end, that there may be new diagnostics and new treatments. And he's validating and affirming that yes, there are new diagnostics and new treatments. We're all learning more every day and they're researching, and I took it for granted that I live in Rochester, New York, which is the home of RIT, Rochester Institution of Technology, which, like MIT, um, is unlike MIT, it's more medically focused. So we have a lot of the medical technology here, and there's treatments that we haven't even discussed yet, according to my doctor or my epileptologist. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of new treatments, new diagnostics. So no, I get it, Pokey. Ah. Oh.
Tom says poking.
I'm sorry, Sunshine. But
It's all right.
but no, I see Mark's point. He has not changed his mind. Just validating that, yeah, that statement at the end, that was that, because I felt that way. It's like, no, there is no cure for epilepsy currently. There is no cure for, to prevent the brain from seizing. And yeah, it could be something as simple as a microchip for all we know in the next decade. I don't know. But I have this, I have, maybe I'm the one that changed my mind because I thought, oh, we're just stuck with the RNS, the VNS, DBS, resection, lobectomy,
And hope.
and I don't want you cutting chunks out of my brain. I really don't want you putting anything in there either. But yeah, if it's something that could really change my life, I would consider it, but research the hell out of it. Mark's Peppers can cure us. Oh, yes. Yes, Angel, you're right. Mark's Peppers can cure a lot of things. You should have seen this little boy's face behind his mommy, and I don't think she even noticed. And I'm like, oh no, oh no. And then all of a sudden, she jumps. What do you have in your mouth? What's going on? Where did you get that? And I'm like, Toaster and I, Toaster didn't even notice for a minute. And I'm like, is that your child or a pet? Wait, wait. Oh shit.
It
The
took us
peppers.
a moment to realize she was talking to her son, and then it took us a little bit to realize that he took a bite of the pepper, and then she showed us the evidence. It's a
Yeah, but
little nibble.
no,
No,
he
it
did
wasn't even
because
a nibble, it was a slice. So
he
I think
said,
he busted it like, just trying to see what it was, and then, maybe sniffed it, decided now, or maybe, maybe got the
uh,
taste of it from his fingers.
oh my goodness.
Sister was on
She
Roblox.
ran.
She does voice chat now, so she could not have been paying attention.
She
So,
ran to
And
get
then
him
I
milk.
took the
It was
bite.
hilarious.
mhm.
Yeah, I took the bite right after that just to see what he was dealing with here.
They were
And
singing, as Annie said.
Yes,
Wh- Which
the
which one was it that you bit
the
into?
the ghost pepper, one of the red
The
ghost peppers,
ghost.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh wow.
Yeah, my boy got a taste. But then he had the
Wow.
dish after it was cooked with
And he
plenty
liked
of
it.
nice starchy veggies. And yeah, he had a taste, but he had the apple juice ready. Didn't need milk though. Didn't need anything to, calm the heat because that one was just a cup of sliced peppers in like a whole, I don't know. I think they're like liters. They come in like big containers of broth. So it was just enough heat though. They're really good.
Very cool. Very
Thank you.
cool. Well, thank you for putting my peppers to use.
Well, there you
Totally
go.
unintentional, but never would regret it.
Oh, I wish I had a freeze dry machine. I would freeze dry those things, powder them up. Oh, mamacita. That would be some hot stuff.
I have a dehydrator. I could dehydrate some and send some pepper flakes, maybe.
Yes,
Oh my,
please. Oh my God, I would love to put that in my dad's tie.
Annie, you're gonna use that as a grinder just for that though, right?
oh hell no. Have you ever, oh no, you never ever want to accidentally get any capsaicin in your weed. Okay, I'm from Buffalo, New York. I like it hot. So when they ask hot, medium, or mild, I say twice. Just give me twice as hot and I'm fine. And we all made a mistake, ordered hot wings, and we're breaking up the weed for a sesh, not thinking about it. Holy mother of, I wanted to rip my lungs out of my chest. Okay, you do not want to get capsaicin in your weed, but that would be Mark your face. You're so adorable. I love it. No, I would cook with it, or at least try to. Or honestly, powdered highly Scoville peppers will keep a lot of pests out of your garden. and
Yeah.
that would be a use for it other than culinary.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Put a little bit of the pepper flakes in uh, a water bottle and just make my own pepper spray and try spraying it around at the base of the plants. Because I had one of my pepper plants completely ripped up out of its pot and just left on the side after I had fertilized them with some fish emulsion. It smelled so good they wanted to find the fish underneath there, but there was no fish. It was just the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh shoot. Did it survive after you lifted it?
Yeah. I mean it behaved like it was just a root trim,
Oh, good.
so it's pretty good. But it did have to catch up on the rest of the season.
Yeah. I know it's not effective for all of the like bugs, rodents. It's usually the vermin and rodents,
Yeah,
but squirrels don't like it, bunnies don't like it. And that's I
bunnies are
have
great.
yeah, I have a lot of those here. In fact,
Yeah,
it's yeah. If I wanted to go wild, wild west homesteading, I could probably grab a couple of these bunnies and um
Make do for the winter.
I could create a bunny farm and make do for the rest of my life because it's the lowest cost, high protein to produce in homesteading. And you also have the skin and the fur. I don't know if you've ever had
and
uh
the feet for
and
luck.
yeah, I don't need that.
Imagine how lucky you would be.
I am very lucky. It's not always good, but I'm very, very lucky. It's just not always good. But yeah, it's been pretty decent lately, right? But no, we have I had deer eating my hosta. Yeah, it was just insane. And I had accidentally bought the wrong pepper powder. I bought Thai chili instead of chili powder. And we when we discovered it, we obviously could not eat the dish. And I'm like, "Oh, I got a use for that." So it's kind of confined some of the bunnies. They're not all over all of my gardens. They're just in the arborvitae. So yeah, they stay away from that stuff.
You could sell rabbit's feet
I don't know if
for good
I
luck.
I don't even know if I could harvest the rabbit. So, but I know a lot of people do that in homesteading. But I don't know if I could even do that. But I know that all parts are useful, right?
Hmm.
Even the intestine. You got to have that little mini intestine to make the breakfast links.
Mm.
How do you think they make sausage?
I already know. Just
Get
the
that nice
unspoken.
snap when you
Natural
bite into
casing.
it.
Yeah, that's the secret to buffalo pizza. The natural casing pepperoni and that extra minute closer to the heat. And we call it curled and charred or cupped and charred because the edges literally like char and they turn into these little grease cups. So if you want to scoop the grease out with a paper towel, that works. But they're so tasty. But it's got to be that natural casing. Yeah, I couldn't do that. No, I cannot picture myself doing that. Kudos to those who have.
Yeah, I seen some people on this one show, and they were just catching stuff and had to eat it, and it's called Alone. They're out there just in the wild. You gotta check it out. It's on Netflix. It's called Alone. Very good show. Uh,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the stuff they ate. Oh my gosh.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.